Namaste, dosto.
Hello, everyone.
So I've had COVID for 14 days now, and I finally feel like I'm okay. I had a second bout of it yesterday. I just started feeling really tired. So Manu and I, we're going to take you through our symptoms, how we got through COVID-19, how you can get tested, the stigma that we faced in our housing society and online, and we'll talk about the government as well. How has their response been to COVID-19? It's been shockingly bad in some regards, like testing, and then it's been good in other regards, which we'll tell you about. Like what happens after you get found out that you're positive, okay? And now, Manu, let's start with symptoms. So your symptoms were really mild compared to mine. Mine were moderate.
I wouldn't have noticed mine if your report didn't come out.
I knew I had COVID actually, and how I knew I had COVID was it just felt different from any other cold or flu that I've ever had. My head was really, felt really, really heavy and really cloudy and really dark. And I had a headache, but only when I moved really, like that. It was a totally different feeling to another cold or flu. Then I had aches and pains throughout my chest area. I had tiredness. Oh God, I felt so tired. I just wanted to sleep for most of the day. I lost my sense of taste. Chocolate didn't taste the same. Butter paneer and dal makhani didn't taste the same. It tasted just like bland. And finally, after like 2 or 3 days into these feelings, I got chest pain right around my heart area, and that really, really freaked me out. That was the worst thing I experienced. All up, it lasted 4 or 5 days, these symptoms for me. What were your symptoms?
Mine was just a mild headache. It wasn't even a headache, it was just a heavy feeling, like you said. And it obviously aggravated every time I moved or I was walking or doing some physical activity. But that's it. And one morning I had a little bit of sore throat, then it went away.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have even told it was, COVID infection.
Yeah, yours was really mild compared to mine, and obviously you got it from me. This thing is catchy. It spreads like crazy. We were taking precautions, and everybody in our house still got it from each other. Auntie, आप क्या कर रहे हैं?
ब्लाउज ठीक कर रही हूँ।
Oh, and तो आपका experience कोरोना के साथ कैसा था?
मेरे तो सिम्टम खास नहीं थे, बस सिर में दर्द था 2 दिन।
हाँ, और खुद जी आप कैसे? कुछ बोलो यार. Now the most important thing to remember is if you get COVID, don't freak out. It's going to be okay, nah? It's just another flu. You're going to be fine, and most people are going to recover just fine at home. Most people won't need hospital attention or even to go to the hospital other than for a test.
You might not even notice, like me and my family, we didn't even notice.
Yeah, 80% of people have mild symptoms and don't need any hospital help, okay? So most of us are going to be fine. The most important people to keep this disease away from is the elderly. They are the most vulnerable to this disease. And people who have medical conditions. People who have any complexities with their health, nah? These are the people we need to keep the disease away from. Most people will be fine. You don't need to worry too much about COVID, okay, if you get it. And we don't actually know where it came from, okay? Like we went to the airport. I've talked about this in another video. There's so many variables, it's just too hard to know. You don't know when you've come in contact with someone who has COVID. No one's going to tell you. People are still walking around outside with COVID. They're not isolating at home. Maybe they can't. So yeah, don't bother wondering where it came from because it's impossible to know. And the thing is, you don't need to go to the hospital. Most people won't need to go to the hospital for this. We only went to the hospital to get the test, and you've seen in my other video how hard that is to do. You can be treated at home, and we are going to talk about the treatments towards the end of this video. So I feel like you'll know if you have COVID because it feels different to anything else that you've had. You can check the symptoms online, check it to what you have, and you can compare it to past flus and colds that you've had, and you'll know. I knew exactly that I had COVID. I just knew it from how different it felt. Now, Manu, what kind of social stigma have we faced? Because I feel like people are still freaked out about people who have COVID-19.
Yeah, the first day people were really freaked out in the apartments, and but most of them have been nice. Soon as they found out, they offered help. Because my dad told everyone, he put it in the society's group.
Yeah. And
let everyone know not to come near our house. But there were a few people who were really paranoid about it, and they did certain things that were not, we were like, what are you doing?
Like what?
Like one of the neighbors, he put flower pots. We don't know why they're there, maybe for his kids, so his kids don't cross over. We don't know, but we just saw those pots and we were like, what are they doing here?
They put flower pots to block the way to our apartment. They're not usually there, so that was weird. And people just calling your dad and saying, why did you do that? Why did you do this?
Blame game.
It's like, sorry guys, this ain't helping us. Hey, nah?
Yeah. I want to tell this to people. People who have COVID are already under tremendous mental pressure. They could be physically fit, like there's not many symptoms, but mentally we're under pressure because we have the disease that you're scared of getting, and everyone knows there's no cure for it. So there's obviously certain level of mental pressure. My parents are above 60. The least you can do is treat them nicely. Don't be mean to them. Don't be rude to them.
So yeah, show people compassion because they're going through more than just having those COVID symptoms, the mental thing as well. And I could tell that she was so much more worried than I was about this. You were having nightmares at night and I could just tell she wasn't okay compared to me. I wasn't worried,
I was worried for my parents. We will be fine, but my parents are above 60 and they are in that risk group. So obviously the whole world is scared of this disease, yeah.
You need to show people compassion because the way I see this disease progressing in India is that a lot of people are going to get it.
Yeah, that's the sad reality.
Yeah, the way things are progressing, there are so many more people that have it than we actually know. We'll talk about that in a sec. So yeah, show people compassion. I'm not trying to sound mean by saying this, but a lot more people are going to get this disease, and you could be one of them, okay? So please show people compassion. Now, a lot of people are wondering how to get tested because they saw how hard it was for us to get tested, or just for me to get tested actually. It took 5 days for me to get tested, and that was before the Delhi government created some new rules which say you can only get tested if you have come into contact with someone who has COVID and you are showing symptoms. You can't just go and get a test if you think you have symptoms like I did. I knew I had it, I wanted to go get a test. So I went to the doctor, he gave me a prescription, and then I got tested. You can't do that anymore. You have to show that you've met someone who has COVID and have the symptoms as well, and then go to a doctor and show all this, and he'll prescribe you to get a test. That's how it works now. They're limiting the scope of who can get tested to keep the numbers low. They don't want to be seen as the epicenter in India, the Delhi government. I guarantee you Mumbai is not the epicenter.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that they're doing a good job with the testing. That's why their numbers are so high. Delhi government is doing a horrible job with the testing. That's why our numbers are so low. And they're doing this on purpose. They're purposely keeping the numbers low. That's my feeling. The problem in Delhi with COVID-19 is much bigger than any of us know. And we know at least 8 other people who have had symptoms but haven't been able to get tested, okay? And I'm sure a lot of other people know other people that have had these symptoms just haven't wanted to go and get tested and just decided to stay home and quarantine themselves. So because testing is so hard, people aren't getting tested and the numbers are artificially lower than they should be. If you want to get tested, you've got to go and see a doctor. That's the only way it's going to happen. That's the easy way to do it. Get in touch with a doctor somehow and ask them for a prescription allowing you to get tested. Hey, na?
Yeah, he'll take you through the whole procedure after that.
Yeah. The Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, he is trying to change the testing rules, okay? And I think they will get changed so that anyone can get tested. Asymptomatic people can get tested as well. Because you want to know if you've had it, right? Like,
yeah.
I went to get tested because I wanted to know for my own records if I had COVID.
Yeah, the rest of the family, we're just assuming we have it.
But there has been one good aspect to how the Delhi government has been handling COVID, and that's been the aftercare. I feel like I've been supported really well. Every day somebody from the COVID task force has been calling me to make sure I'm okay and to offer me help assistance to bring groceries or to get medication or to do whatever that needs to be done for me. So I feel like that's really good and really helpful. And they are actually calling me every single day. Usually I'm sleeping when they call though. And the other thing that happened was, as soon as I got found out as positive, a doctor called me straight away and asked, how am I feeling? Do I need extra help? So I feel like the Delhi government is there for people who do get tested and found as positive, but it's really, really hard to get tested. There's a good and a bad side to this. I feel like they're like aftercare is really good and that I'm looked after. Now Manu, so you were on some medication. I was on medication to help my chest infection that I got during COVID, and it seemed to work. But we're not going to talk specifically about the medications, okay? What medications had they prescribed you, and for what purpose, I mean?
The doctor had just given some antibiotics and vitamin C pills. So vitamin C increases your immunity, and antibiotics to avoid any other complications. So your body can focus on fighting one virus.
Yeah, I don't know if...
But we don't know if it works or not.
The point is you need to seek a doctor's opinion on what you're going through and what symptoms you have. We can't just list you off the drugs that we took. Because honestly, I don't even think those drugs work. In India, doctors tend to overprescribe stuff for no reason. That's what I feel. Whenever I've been to the doctor, I come out with a massive list of drugs for some small little thing, and I'm always asking them, what is this for? What's that for? No, I don't need that. I don't have any pain. Why are you giving me this painkiller? So, yeah, I don't think there's any point talking about medication. If you're feeling sick, you got to contact
and we're not the right people to, talk about medicines and.
Yeah, and I hate it when YouTubers start their video by, we're not professionals. Like, everyone knows you're not a professional. Like, you don't need to say that. You know? I feel like it just wastes time and we just did it just now. Anyway. Let's talk about how we got through COVID. What did we do to get better? And what we did is we followed the home isolation guidelines from the Delhi government. We got them right here. We'll read you out some of the important stuff that we found from this document. So let's start with the nutrition guide. A lot of people are wondering, what did we eat? Did we eat anything special?
We did increase the intake of vitamin C. So we were having Mossambi juice twice a day and just lemonade and stuff. Just increase the quantity of sour fruit in your diet.
Yeah, and if you look at the government's nutrition guide, it says eat whole grains such as brown rice, whole wheat flour, oats, millets, etc. Include beans, lentils, pulses, as these are good sources of protein. It says eat fresh fruits and vegetables. It says drink 8 to 10 glasses of water to hydrate yourself. That's important.
What we were doing as well.
Stay hydrated while you have COVID.
So we filled a full bottle of 1 liter bottle of water and put ORS in it, and we were drinking it throughout the day.
Yeah, to stay hydrated. It says drink citrus fruits like lemons and oranges. Eat them or drink them whenever you want because they have that high vitamin C content. I didn't actually know if that works. It's been proven that that vitamin C doesn't do much once you're already sick. So anyway, now this is a very Indian thing. Include spices like ginger, garlic, and turmeric in your diet because they're natural immunity boosters.
So even if the government didn't say it, my mother would still give me turmeric milk.
Yeah, so she was making me drink turmeric milk. And at first I looked at like, what is this? What are you making me drink? But it tastes good actually.
Turmeric tastes milk. Good. It's homemade turmeric as well, the one we're using. So
I think everybody in India is drinking turmeric milk right now to try and boost their immunity. But yeah, that's what the Delhi government says. It says it's going to work. So turmeric, ginger, and garlic. Eat home cooked food, less oily food, wash fruits and vegetables. And this is all basic healthy nutrition actually.
Okay.
I don't know if this is COVID specific, but it's in their home quarantine pamphlet, okay? Now don'ts. Avoid eating maida, fried, and junk food. I don't know why. Avoid sugary packaged juices because they're very low in nutrients.
And high on sugar.
Yeah, so it seems like the Delhi government's nutrition guide is simply to boost your nutrients as much as possible.
Just keep your body strong so it can fight the infection. That's it.
And now it says here, don't eat mutton, liver, fried and processed meats. I don't know where that comes from.
Maybe because the body needs more energy to digest these things.
I don't know. Anyway, so that's the Delhi government's nutrition guide. I'm going to link to this home isolation guideline in the comments and description because it tells you exactly how to home isolate well. And the other interesting thing here was how to self-monitor yourself, how to know if you need assistance at the hospital. And it says here, if your body temperature exceeds 100 Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius, or your pulse rate exceeds 100 beats per minute, immediately contact the COVID helpline. Okay, so we have been monitoring ourselves for this with a thermometer and a pulse rate with this little device. Show us your device, nah?
My device gone.
Show us your little device, Manu.
So it's this device, it's an oximeter, and you put it on your finger like that. It measures the oxygen level in your blood and your pulse rate.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, he told me about this, who knows people who've had COVID. So he just told us to monitor our oxygen levels and pulse rate, and
So here it is, 95, and my pulse rate is 79. And why are we monitoring this, Manu?
it's an oximeter. It measures the oxygen level in your blood and it measures your pulse rate.
Yeah, so
that's
if your
why-
oxygen levels drop below 90, if your body temperature exceeds 37.8 degrees or 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or if your pulse rate exceeds 100 beats per minute, you need to call the COVID helpline and you might need to get help, okay? And when we were testing my temperature, I was nearing 37.8 degrees, but I didn't get there. I had a fever, but it wasn't really severe, okay? And you had a fever, what did you get? What was your number? You didn't have a fever, okay. So her results were so mild compared to mine, the symptoms. And there was one other thing that I really wanted to know. Will the Delhi government retest me to show that I'm now negative? And I found the answer on this document. It's no. So they've home quarantined us for 17 days now. And after you haven't had symptoms for 10 days, they're just gonna say that you are negative. They're not gonna test you and show that you're negative and that you've recovered in the numbers. So are those numbers legitimate? Are those recovered numbers even real? They're not testing anyone to find out if they're negative. So yeah, they're not gonna retest you to find out if you're negative, okay? After our quarantine is done, we're just gonna be assumed to be negative. I think that's bad. I think they should be testing everybody to prove that they're negative before you go out of quarantine. So right now we're in a 17-day quarantine and it's not gonna end for another 10 or 11 days.
Just binge watching Netflix. And
Yeah, I don't even feel like watching much movies though. I went for a period where I watched like 3 or 4 movies in one day, and then after that I couldn't watch any more movies.
stuff that I've watched on YouTube in the past few days, I never knew I would watch it.
You're always scrolling through it, all this random stuff online. So Chalo, I'm gonna link to that document. Please go through and read that document. Even if you don't have COVID, it's gonna help you prepare, because I feel like this COVID is gonna spread throughout India like it is in the US. You know, the US is doing a lot of testing compared to India. If India was doing as much testing as the US, our numbers would be quite different, I think. Hey, na?
Yeah.
So Chalo, stay safe and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.